Welcome to Pera's Playbook. This is your host, Alex Pera. Let's open up our playbook and see who our guest is. Please enjoy. Welcome to episode 118 of Pera's Playbook. Today I'm joined by Jeremiah Flemmons. He plays D1 football at Austin Peay University. How's it going tonight?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Appreciate you coming on. We're kind of in the heart of football season. And I was saying the other night on the pod, it's like the best time to be a sports fan. You got college basketball starting up, you got the NBA, you got hockey, you've got football, NFL, and college. I mean, there's something on every night. So it's the best time to be a sports fan. So definitely exciting. And we're getting into that point in the college football season where you're really starting to see what teams are made out of. People are in the thick of their schedules, and you guys have had a really tough schedule. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I want to go back to your high school career. So I was reading in your bio, it said that you were a quarterback and a wide receiver. Did you play one position more than the other? Did you split time kind of 50-50? I mean, how'd that work for you?
It really just depended on what game we were in and what situation needed. Is when they needed to put me at quarterback and when they needed to put me at receiver, and then sometimes I played a little bit of DB there too.
Okay. Did you guys have a couple of quarterbacks so then you'd like rotate through depending on the situation you guys wanted to?
It was really just me and our older quarterback, Lake. He was a transfer from Macaulay that came in my senior year to play quarterback, so I could play more receiver.
Yeah.
And if we needed more of a run game, they'd throw me in at quarterback because I had the run threat and the throwing threat as well with our running back, and we'd run read option.
So you said you played a little bit of DB in high school too. Were you more of an offensive guy in high school than defense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you were recruited, what did they like? What were schools recruiting you for initially? Like when you were talking to different schools, were you being recruited as an offensive guy?
I was being recruited as a quarterback, as a receiver, as a corner. So there was a lot of talk in the mix of me playing DB at the bigger level, but I decided to stay at receiver and stay at that lower level.
Yeah. So going through your recruiting process, like when did it really kind of get going for you? At what point, like when was it really you were talking to a ton of schools and like what was the I guess the busiest part of your recruiting? At what point was it your junior year, your senior year?
I'd say really after my junior season, once we got into basketball season, I got my first offer from EKU. And that's what really jump started it off. And then me and my dad, we started to plan out a calendar of going to camps and et cetera. And I ended up going, I believe one of my last camps was my Austin Peay camp. And they came to Chattanooga and I went there in person and I got my offer there in person.
So at what point did you like know like Austin Peay was the place you wanted to go?
Really at the camp, I had a lot of interest there. I was like, this is one school I need to get an offer from because I hadn't had the offer yet until I went to the camp. And I love the energy of the coach. I was watching their games. I was going on visits, and one coach that stuck out a lot to me was Coach Walden, and he carried himself to a high aspect, and he carried his players to a high aspect as well.
So when they were recruiting you, did they say, "Hey, we want you to come. We want you to play DB"?
They asked me to come play receiver.
Okay. So when you got on campus, eventually, then you made the switch.
I actually just made the switch, like
Just like
this
just
season.
okay. All right. Well, let's talk about that for a little bit. So you came in as a receiver. You're on campus for a while. What was the switch, or why did they make the switch?
I made the switch during the season. I had got hurt actually 2 or 3 games in. And then I was coming back and we had some issues going on, players getting hurt, and they asked me, they're like, can you come over to off defense? I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm willing to do anything from the team. So
Do you like playing one more than the other? Like which one do you like playing better?
I've kind of actually enjoyed playing DB because of the coach. He's given me a lot of experience and he's teaching me a lot, and I've been learning off of him. So it's been
Yeah.
going pretty well. I mean, at receiver is it's a lot. You're moving free, but at DB you also get to come down and hit somebody, and that's one thing I like to do as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of pressure being a defensive back, though. I mean, like, I feel like depending on how refs call a game, like some refs they let them play, so you can get handsy, and they're not going to call anything. Other times, I mean, the smallest thing and refs will call it. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure. Quarterback takes a deep shot, hoping he's going to get pass interference call. So if you're that defensive back, you're covering that deep shot. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on you in that moment. Do you feel that like when you're out in the field, like oh, like holy smokes, like I got taking a deep shot at me, like a lot of pressure? No.
Not really. It's just staying focused and keeping the main thing, and moving on to the next thing. So, I mean, I try not to focus on that too much. I just really just try to focus on my technique and not having to worry about that being an issue.
Right, right, yeah. Because if you have good technique, then odds are you're not going to get called, right? You see all the time guys don't watch the ball, then they get the penalty called on them because they're just like all over the receiver and they had no eyes on the ball ever. Or,
Mm-hmm.
there's different instances. So, like, if you have good technique, hopefully you're set. So this season, you guys have a really, really tough schedule. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you opened up with Louisville, who's one of the better teams in the ACC. I mean, they just knocked off Clemson. They played toe to toe with Notre Dame. They played toe to toe with Miami. It's a really good team. You guys have had top 10 FCS opponents like SIU, Central Arkansas, Tarleton State. I mean, you guys just have a kind of a gauntlet of a schedule here. To talk about kind of going through that, navigating such a tough schedule.
Really navigating through the schedule is really just trying to stay together as a team. We also have we had a new coaching staff that just came in this year, and this is his first time head coach job, and I feel like he's been trying to do a pretty good will of a job of building a culture and keeping everybody together. And as you realize, like in the beginning of the season, we it didn't look so well, but now we're actually starting to come together, and it's actually starting to look really good. And we're coming into a game against Avalon Christian next week, which is looking pretty good too. And I feel very confident in our players and our team as a whole.
Yeah. But it's hard when you're a smaller school to start off with those big games, right? Like, I mean, that's tough. You want to play well, but I mean, like Louisville, I can't remember where they were ranked to start the season, but they were ranked pretty high. Everybody knew they were going to be a good team. You guys also had like West Georgia on the schedule, and they're new to
Oh yeah,
D1. So like
yeah.
they're a wild card, right? You didn't know what to expect out of them because they're a new D1 team. They're kind of just figuring things out. Um, so you guys definitely had an interesting. You guys won that game, right?
Yes, sir, we did. Our coaches know some of their coaches, so like it going into the game, we knew a little bit of what was gonna happen, and
Yeah,
especially from watching film as well. So they are a new team, and that they're a pretty good team. I mean, I feel like all the teams in the conference are pretty good. This is a pretty well put together conference.
yeah, and that makes it more fun, competitive. Every week's a battle.
Mm.
Nobody's killing. I mean, like you want a battle. It's more fun for the fans. It's more fun for the players. I mean, obviously you want to win every game, but it's kind of fun to have those kind of toss up games where it goes down to the wire. I mean, everyone gets a little stressed out, but they're definitely fun to watch.
So
It gets that fan engagement in there for sure. So you guys have a pretty cool. I'm a big mascot, like uniforms and helmets guy, and like different uniform combos, and like the NFL when they got their like retro throwbacks. I mean, I love that stuff. And you guys got kind of like a unique mascot. I mean, you see him on your shirt there, little
oh,
governor
the
guy,
cover.
or yeah, I mean, he's pretty sweet looking. The all red jerseys you guys have with the red helmet, that they've had over different years, and I mean like just cool jerseys. What's your favorite jersey combo?
Probably black, red, black, or I like the black, white, black too,
Yeah.
or the all black.
Yeah, you guys definitely have you got quite a
Yeah,
few
yeah, we got
cool.
quite a few options. The all whites are pretty nice too, with the
Yeah,
TriStar.
yeah, they look clean. They're nice. So, I mean, it's kind of that you get that look good, play good, you feel good, kind of going and I feel like that's a big thing nowadays. Like Oregon has always had it because they've always
Oh
had
yeah,
sweet uniforms. But like there's a lot of other schools that are starting to put out sweet uniforms and I think it plays a factor in like a little bit, right? Like you want to look good. You know, I don't know. I always rip on the schools that have like brown, like Bowling Green or
oh
like
yeah.
like kind of ugly. It's kind of ugly. Who feels good? Valpo. They got the brown and the yellow. It's
You
just
know,
not great.
sometimes it don't matter about the color though. It's just like if you can pull it off or not.
Yeah, yeah. No, that is true. That is true. There are some schools that have some kind of wacky colors, but they got good combo. They can pull it off. But it
Hmm.
definitely helps. I mean, red, white, black. I mean, those are pretty easy colors. It's hard to screw that up. You guys definitely have some nice unis. So, what was your team growing up? Like, what was your college team? Who'd you root for growing up?
Oh, Tennessee and Oregon.
Yeah. What about
Yeah,
NFL?
Broncos when I was younger. Yeah,
Are you
my
still a
little, my
Bron?
little, league te- my little, no, 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 my little league team. We were the Broncos, so I like the
Okay.
Broncos.
Who do you root for now?
I really don't root for anybody. I just like watching the players.
Yeah, I just like watching football.
Hmm.
You still follow like Oregon and Tennessee at all, or is it hard because now you're
Yeah,
playing?
yeah. I still follow up with Tennessee.
Yeah. So, like this year, it's super exciting to be a college football, right? You got the 12 team playoff.
Uh,
Everybody's got a chance to win a national championship. Like, I mean, I feel like in previous years you'd have the first teams out, the ones that were in the New Year's Six bowls. You always felt like, man, if that team made it, they could have won a natty. And now you definitely have that. And Tennessee's one of those teams. Um, so I mean, there's some people who don't like it. There's some people who kind of rip on the 12 team playoff. But what do you think? As a college football player, as a fan of the game, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I feel like it's a good thing. It gives more opportunities for those other schools that didn't have a chance in the rankings of people saying that they play nobody and etc. So
Yeah,
I feel like it's a good advantage.
kind of gives that March Madness feel to football,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah, it's
people,
excitement. It gives
yeah,
competition.
whoever that 12 seed is, if it's somebody like Boise State or whoever it is, like they have a chance to knock someone off and advance. I mean, you get that group of five Mountain West team or whatever, they've got a chance to take down a big dog. And I
Yeah,
mean, they looked really good against Oregon early in the year. Boise State played really well. They got Ashton. I mean, he's a favorite
he's
for the Heisman right now. He's just absolutely crazy. Who's your Heisman pick right now? Okay, so you're a DB. Do you have any favoritism towards Travis Hunter? What do you think? What in the Heisman race?
um I mean, I don't really like play into I don't really look into all that, but with my thoughts on it, I believe Travis Hunter should win it. Like, no, I don't think people realize the things that he is doing, like how possible that is. You don't see many people doing that today.
Yeah,
And he's making big plays on both sides of the ball, and it's not just on one side.
right.
You don't have anybody else doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's playing almost the whole game.
Yeah,
He's
you're
like,
not. We're not going to see that ever again.
do you ever think about that? Like what if you had to play both sides, wide
I do.
receiver? Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
think you'd be pretty gassed?
yeah, but I mean, there's things we can do for that.
Yeah. 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 No, it is. I mean, there hasn't been a player since like Charles Woodson, and he wasn't like, I mean, like I think Travis Hunter's even taken it a little bit farther. But it's been a long time since you've seen that like kind of like two-way player, generational player. I think it'd be cool to see if he goes two ways in the NFL. Like,
Yeah,
when he gets there, is a team going to use him on both sides of the ball, or are they just going to stick him on one or the other? And which one would they, do they put him at wide receiver? They put him at DB? They put him at both? It'll be really interesting to see. But the Heisman race is definitely crazy right now. I mean, you got Cam Ward, you got him, Travis Hunter, you got Ash. I mean, they're all putting up good cases. You got some other guys sneaking in there. It's kind of wide open. If you had to make your pick right now, who do you think it'd be?
For Heisman,
Yeah, who do you think? Honest, who do you think?
Travis. Yeah,
Okay.
Travis.
What about national champion? Who do you think? Right at this point in the season, who do you think is going to win it all?
Oh, oh, that's a hard question. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I don't know. I have a good feeling that it might be Oregon this year.
Yeah, they look really good.
It might
I
be
mean,
Oregon.
beating Ohio State's huge. I'm a Notre Dame guy, so I want to say Notre. I want to say Notre Dame because I'm a Notre Dame guy, and now they're back in the field. Everyone thinks they're gonna make it, but I don't know. I think it's wide
I don't
open.
think they will.
You don't think they're gonna make it?
Mm.
What? Why not? Because the one loss.
I haven't even. I don't know who they have next on the schedule. Who do they have next?
Uh, this week I don't know. They play Virginia. They play Army. They play USC. I don't know how many. I can't remember how many games are left, but they got at least Virginia, Army, and USC.
Mm. Depending on what they do against USC, it depends on the future.
Yeah, yeah. Army's good though this year. Army's good. Army's undefeated. You don't think that matters?
They don't play no.
Oh man. So you're
But
saying all that hype is just that. It's just hype for the
yeah,
social media accounts.
yeah,
Yeah, just people. Oh, what if Army went undefeated, made the college football playoff?
they'd get smacked by Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon,
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's no that
Tennessee, all of them.
the way they play doesn't translate. I mean that type of football, that style of football, it doesn't work. I mean,
Doesn't translate to SEC ball.
no, 30 passing yards a game, 300 rushing yards a game, like it just it doesn't it doesn't translate. I'd hate to be a wide receiver at Army. Yeah, man, it'd be slow. It would be slow. A lot of blocking. Be getting a lot of blocking. So I like to end every episode on music. I'm a big music guy.
Mm.
Um, what's your favorite kind of music?
Rap.
Yeah. Is that is that
Uh,
the is that the team vibe too for like warm-ups, like pre-game playoffs, is it all rap? Is there anything else mixed in there?
I listen to multiple different things before a game.
Yeah.
I have like my different settings of music that I have like pre-rated, like my pregame rituals.
Yeah.
So,
What's one of your pre-game songs?
um, what's one that I bang? Outside by No Cap.
Okay. Now, so you listen to the same stuff every game? Like you said you got pre-game rituals, so it's the same playlist, same songs, no matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other like non-music pre-game rituals? You gotta like put your left sock on before your right sock or something.
I have a devotional book that I read before every game.
Yeah. Are you a kind of guy you like to be like alone and quiet, like your AirPods in, not talking to anybody, like sitting on, some people they kind of like to go off by themselves and just kind of like think for a little bit before a game. Other people are like all hyped up, they're with the group. Where are you at? Like what's your vibe before a game?
I'm really like both, like at like when it gets closer towards game time, where I have a chance to keep my music in and just chill. I'll go off by myself and listen to music and rap the lyrics. And then when it's time, I'll make sure that I'm making sure that my teammates are pumped up and we're good to go on the field.
Yeah. Do you guys have a pregame meal usually?
Yeah.
What is it like usually? Is pasta, chicken, like that kind of stuff?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Get
Pasta,
those carbs in.
chicken, vegetables, get those carbs in. Then the night before, it's steak, pasta, some others.
Is it the same thing even if you guys are traveling?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta load up on those. Get those carbs in before the game.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, Jeremiah, I appreciate you hopping on the podcast, talking a little Austin Peay football, talking about switching your positions. It's something I feel like you see actually, it happens quite often at the college level, right? There's a hole on the team and you got to fill it if there's a lot of injuries. So guys make the transition. Um, and sometimes it ends up being you end up getting more playing time because you made the switch. So it definitely works out for guys. Um, but appreciate you coming on the pod and talking about your journey a little bit. Good luck with the rest of the season.
I sure appreciate that.
Thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for more episodes soon.